Hi, I'm Jesse Hilbert.
Hi, I'm Charlie Herbert.
And welcome
to Arthropod
Adventures. This is
Season 2, Episode 13.
17.
Yeah, 17.
The Mitts That Don't Belong. Today's arthropod, Charlie, can be found in many waterways throughout the United States coastline and beyond. But the catch is, Charlie, get this?
Yeah.
They don't belong. And what do we always ask people?
Can you guess what it is?
Today's episode brings us to the world of the Chinese mitten crab.
Chinese mitten crab.
Yeah. Do you think they really wear mittens?
No.
No? Oh, we're going to get into that. Now, Charlie, I did a crab back in season 1, and I dedicated it to Grandpa. Yeah, but that was before you joined us. But is a crab an insect?
No.
No, it's a crustacean.
It's a crustacean like a phone.
Not like a phone, like a shrimp or a lobster. But to be honest, the crustaceans have been underrepresented on Arthropod Adventures.
As Arthropod Adventures.
Yeah.
You need to learn.
And we haven't done a lot of work on them. Now,
yes, literally.
even a lot of people don't even know that crabs are arthropods.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Isn't that bananas? Cuckoo bananas?
Scoditis.
What? Is it bananas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Their scientific name is Ariochir sinensis. And as their common name suggests, it's not native to where we are here in the United States, Charlie, nor is it native to North America. The Chinese mitten crab is native to East Asia, specifically northern China and the Korean peninsula. Their scientific name is Greek in origin and means essentially the wool hand of the Chinese. This will help us get into their body description because both their scientific and common name leads right into their defining characteristic, Charlie. The furry claws. That honestly, they do kind of look like mittens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, they're actually covered in setae. Can you say setae?
Setae.
Which in Latin means bristle. And they are tiny hair-like structures that many organisms have, from our crustaceans to annelids like worms.
They're so slimy.
They are so. I mean, not slimy. It's mucus. Yeah. But it's how they move around.
Yeah.
Now, it is important to note that juveniles and adults do have these furry mittens, but it is not found on crabs that are under an inch, which segues us to talking more about their body, Charlie. To understand the body of this arthropod, we're going to have to learn a little bit about it. Okay? You ready? Now, crustaceans, they have a hard exoskeleton, and it's called the carapace. Try that? Carapace. And the carapace has defining lateral spines that are projected out, and it helps when we measure the crab. So we measure it from lateral spine to lateral spine, okay? And when we talk about the size of this crab, we're talking about 4 inches when they're fully grown. Yeah, it's kind of big, but also not too big, right? And on either side of their eyes, they have 4 spines that go from the lateral spine up towards their eyes. And there's also a small notch in between their eyes, which kind of looks like a little bit of a chunk missing. No pupils. You're funny. And they are an olive to light brown in color.
And light brown and pink.
Not pink. We've never done a pink arthropod. We should find one, though, huh? Okay, we'll find one. And crabs are decapods, and depending on the species, many of the legs have evolved to serve different purposes. The front pair of legs are modified to be used to grab things, and some crabs have legs that have been developed to aid in swimming, but not this decapod, Char. The Chinese mitten crab, all of those legs are made for walking, right? And you know what I love? Learning new words. Do you like learning new words? Yeah. Now wait for this one. Catadromus. Say that.
Drownus.
Yeah. Which refers to the fact that these crabs travel from fresh water in streams and rivers to brackish water, or where the fresh water meets the ocean, And it's where they will spawn, which is the fancy word for releasing their eggs and doing all that mating stuff. And this leads us to the mating of these crabs and how to identify the males or the boys to the females or the girls. And I went down this really interesting rabbit hole in this article titled Mating Behavior and Chemical Communications in the Invasive Chinese Mitten Crab. And it was written by Leif Matthias Herborg, Matthew G. Bentley, Anthony S. Clare, and Kim S. Last. And Char, I'll be the first one to admit that reading a scientific paper is not the easiest thing for me. Well, I love arthropods. My science brain sometimes, gets a little unfocused. But I did learn, and I quote, that they hard shell mate. And this occurs when both mating partners are in the intermolt and have a hard carapace. And that's end quote. I'm quoting right from them. And according to the article, the crabs can release up to 3 batches of eggs, which as an invasive species is not a good thing because it means there's going to be a lot of babies. Yeah. And both the males and females will die shortly after reproducing. Now, if you're asking yourself, how do you know if you're holding a male or a female crab? Then look no further than the underside of the abdomen. This is where you will find the flap, and this will give you that information that you need. You see, underneath there, if you find a female, you might even see some eggs, because she'll keep them in there. The flaps on the males look more like a pointed V, whereas the females are more like a U. What sound does V make? And what sound does U make?
Yeah.
No, not yeah. There we go. Good job. You learned that in kindergarten? Yeah. Shout out to Miss Stevens' class? Okay. And this U shape is what helps the female hold her eggs. Now, as with invasive species comes the damage and the negative effects they have on their new ecosystems. And the Chinese mitten crab is no different. As we talked about earlier, they migrate from freshwater to brackish water to spawn. And this has been known to cause problems. Did you know that? No, now you're about to learn. It's about to be bananas. This brings us to the resource put out by Oregon State about the Chinese mitten crab. And it's called Aquatic Invasion, a Menace to the West. Sounds like a movie. The crazy story that I read takes us back to 1998, where upwards of 1 million of these crabs... Oh, yeah. 1 million of these crabs clogged the screens, tanks, and trucks at the federal and state fish salvage facilities in the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta in California. And they solved it in the craziest way possible, Charlie.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. They built this thing called Crabzilla. Try that one. Crabzilla. And it was a giant contraption designed to capture the crabs and let the fish slide out. Now, this problem may have been over 20 years ago, but it showcases the problem that this crab and all invasive species can do. And it's not good, right? Now, these are burrowing crabs. And because of that, they can weaken shore beds and levees because they dig into the silt and to the dirt to get away. And since they produce in high numbers, which means they can produce a high percentage of damage. This erosion is bad for other native crabs and for other animals alike, as their habitats are slowly being destroyed. Habitat, yep. And on top of taking away the homes of other animals, they are also taking away their food. These crabs are opportunistic feeders and will eat just about anything they can get their claws on. They also cause problems for fishermen who are... Ooh, yeah, because people who are going out fishing for shrimp and other things, they catch these crabs, and the crabs can destroy their nets, and then the fisher people have to pick out all the crabs. Now, Charlie, I hope our listeners are asking themselves how they can help, and there is an answer. If you see something, say something, Charlie. Can you say that?
If you see something, say something.
Yeah. So most states where these mitten crabs have been found have a way for you to report them. In my home state here in Connecticut, Char, they ask you to do not put it back into the wild where you found it. They ask you to freeze it or preserve it in alcohol and note the date and the place of where you captured it and then report it to the correct person. Most states I saw in the research follow a similar procedure. So if you live in a coastal state, you can look up those procedures because it's very helpful. So the next time you're crabbing or exploring the water, be on the lookout for those furry claws. Be diligent and report your sightings. Do your best to help manage this invasive species, and do yourself and everyone else a favor and keep up to date with all the variety of invasive plant and animal species, because it can only help.
Oh, it's sushi.
Oh, sushi. Now, Charlie, this is the last episode of Season 2. Isn't that crazy? I know, 17 episodes we did. And I've already started researching for Season 3. So tell people, make sure you tell us what you want to learn about. Can you tell people? And follow our Instagram.
Follow it Instagram.
arthropod_adventures_podcast. And you can always tell us what you want to learn about there.
Yeah.
And we say thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have an arthropod you would love to hear about, want to tell us what you think about the show, or found a mistake, send us an email at arthropodadventurespodcast@gmail.com. What do we always say? Thank you for listening.
Never stop learning.
Stay inquisitive and never stop learning.
Show notes.
Oh, we forgot that. Always go look at the show notes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the random fact for today is the fact. The random fact for today is that an article I read by James Woodford states that, and I quote, simply placing as few as 4 live ants into a container of milk provides enough microbes, enzymes, and acids to kickstart the fermentation process that creates yogurt, end quote. So we could use ants to make yogurt.
Ew.
Maybe not ew. Might taste good. Should we go try it?
Right now.
No, not right now. Say thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.